my infant, I ask you right away to throw this item from your life, because it's limiting the blessings of your lifestyles. Yes, my chid, this is prescribing your increase, your love life, and the prosperity of your life. But pay complete interest to my phrases until the very give up, and share this message with 11 human beings in your listing, because you aren't alone suffering from this one thing, my toddler. I ask you once more urgently, lovingly, but with the total authority of heaven to forge away this item from your lifestyles. It isn't always simply an object, not only a harmless thing you keep nearby, but a gateway, a tether, a weight that binds you to what I have already brought you from. You may now not yet fully recognize its power, but I, your Father, see the stop from the start. I recognize the silent erosion it causes in your spirit. The way it clouds your clarity, interrupts your pleasure, and delays the harvest I have prepared for you. Yes, my baby, this very element is standing between you and the abundance I lengthen to pour into your existence. You've been crying out to me, soliciting for solutions, praying for breakthroughs, thinking why the doorways appear stuck, why the relationships experience strained, why the mild at the cease of the tunnel glints so faintly. And I am right here, not silent, not distant. However, speak clearly now, throw this factor out, or move it. Relaxation it out of your presence as you will a serpent for your mattress. Because it contains with it the residue of darkness, the echo of old agreements, the fingerprint of insurrection. I need nothing to come among us. My child, I do now not speak this to shame you. I talk it to rouse you. You have grown weary, not understanding that this burden turned into in no way a part of the journey I set before you. Like a stone for your shoe on an extended stroll, you have gotten used to the limp, but I in no way called you to walk in ache. The direction of the righteous grows brighter. However, how are you going to stroll the slender course while holding directly to what I've requested you to release? Pay attention to me carefully now and take these words into the deepest part of your being. You are not made for bondage. You aren't made for confusion. You aren't made for put off. You're my loved, my personal introduction, called to stroll in freedom, readability and divine acceleration. I have been watching over you, guiding your steps even whilst you were unaware. And now in my mercy I come to you with this preparation, now not as a restriction, but as a launch. You've outgrown this aspect. It can't pass in which I'm taking you. It does not belong for your future. It cannot stand in my glory. Yes, it may appear small. It could seem insignificant to the natural eye. Others might also keep the equal component of their homes, of their wallet, or of their minds without seeing any on-the-spot damage. But you, my child, are set aside. You're chosen. What others can tolerate, you cannot. What others can touch without effect, you have to keep away from for the sake of the calling upon your life. I have whispered this to your coronary heart before. You felt the unrest, the inner prompting. That wasn't your imagination. That was me. And now I verify it once more with urgency, throw it out. It is blockading your healing. It smiles, dulling your discernment. It is slowing down the promises I have spoken over you. The purpose why you felt resistance is not the enemy. Every so often it is me, resisting what you're seeking to build on the incorrect foundation. I withstand the proud but deliver grace to the humble. And humility seems like obedience even when you do not absolutely recognize, even when it prices something, even whilst you must permit go of what feels acquainted. You have been conserving onto this for a ways too long. You've wrapped reminiscences around it, emotions round it. But I see how those emotions bleed into your choices, how they fog your spiritual eyesight. I want to talk to you more definitely. I want to transport on your lifestyles more hastily. I want to elevate you into a season you cannot even imagine. But I will now not do it while this idol stays in your ownership. Yes, I call it an idol. Due to the fact anything you price above my practice turns into one. Something you guard when I am asking you to give up, you have all started to worship on your coronary heart. But I'm now not angry with you. I'm jealous for you. Jealous no longer in human frailty, but in divine holiness. I choose your undivided interest, your complete devotion, now not because I need it, however because I recognize what occurs when you supply it to me. You flourish and also you upward push. You emerge as the radiant vessel I designed before you have been even born. My infant, I've been so patient. I have waited through your questions, your struggles, your seasons of silence. I've stood by using you inside the nights when you cried out and concept I was some distance away. I've been nearer than your next breath. And now I'm telling you, with the burden of heaven in the back of my voice, allow it go. Sure, I see how deeply embedded this factor has grown to be for your routines, your conduct, your surroundings. But you are stronger than you watched. I did now not make you susceptible. I did not create you to be sure. The same Spirit that raised Christ from the dead dwells in you, and that Spirit is power. That Spirit is know-how. That Spirit is conviction and luxury. Let it lead you now, even as I speak. Do no longer delay, my baby. The longer you wait, the tighter the grip of this issue turns into. Time procrastination isn't harmless. It is a thief. It steals moments of obedience. It whispers lies that point is unlimited. But I tell you now, act quickly. Do no longer supply the enemy any other foothold. Do no longer permit some other day to skip and compromise. There may be a lot greater waiting for you. I see your future blazing with light. I see relationships which might be aligned with your reason, provision that is already on its way, doorways that are geared up to swing open. But this one act of obedience is the key. Throw it out. Burn it, delete it. Smash it. Cast off it, anything you must do. Do it now. No longer later. Now your obedience on this moment is a seed, and I can honor it with supernatural boom. You are not alone. Many are certain through the identical element and do not even comprehend it. However, I have chosen you as a mild to others. That is why I am asking you to percentage this message. No longer to move viral, not to be popular, but to be a voice of deliverance. When you share what I've spoken, you grow to be a vessel of my reality. A person else desires this phrase. A person else is ready to interrupt unfastened, and your obedience will unlock their freedom too. I see how you have got wrestled together with your thoughts, how you've got tried to rationalize keeping it. I see how you have wondered yourself, questioning in case you are being too spiritual or too emotional. However, I say to you, this isn't emotion. This is revelation. And with revelation comes duty. Now that you realize act, I will assist you. I can provide you with the braveness, the energy and the peace to obey. You'll not try this alone. My toddler, your future is asking. The model of you that walks in freedom, joy and divine success is waiting on the different aspect of this moment. You're standing at a threshold. I'm knocking. Will you open the door? Will you assert yes? Will you consider me sufficient to let go of what you watched you want so I can provide you with what I realize you want? This is your moment. I recognize you have got failed before. I realize you have made promises and damaged them. But today is a brand new day. My mercies are new this morning. My grace is sufficient. I'm not maintaining your past against you. I'm pointing you on your future. The enemy accuses you, but I speak existence. I do not name you through your disasters. I call you through your name. Cherished. Redeemed. Chosen. Victorious. This is who you are. And now it's time to stroll love it. And it's my toddler. Concentrate once more with the ears of your spirit, for what I'm approximately to show isn't shadowed. It is not fleeting. It's miles deep and lasting and intended to alternate the rhythm of your lifestyles. You've often appeared to the massive moments, the grand selections, the foremost crossroads, the existence-altering events as the number one resources of exchange. However, I inform you currently, it isn't always inside the loud and the massive that your lifestyles is fashioned. It's miles inside the small matters, yes, the ignored, the daily, the habitual, that both give a boost to your foundation or motive it to quietly erode. You question me for a leap forward, however I want you to apprehend this one fact deeply. What you choose within the small determines the significance of the outstanding. It's miles the little thoughts that move unchecked that come to be ideals. It's far the small compromises you're making whilst no person is looking that start to harden your heart. It is inside the quiet selections, the way you spend some time, what you permit your eyes to peer, what you permit your ears soak up, that the whole trajectory of your destiny is bent. Simply as a ship's direction is altered by means of the smallest exchange inside the rudder, so your existence is urged by means of what you might dismiss as too small to matter. What I see all. I see how the enemy hides within the ordinary, I see how he disguises poison and pleasure, how he slips destruction into destruction. you must become vigilant, my baby, now not stressful, now not apprehensive but alert to your spirit. The subtle matters are often the most dangerous due to the fact they wrap themselves in normalcy. The sappiest female that joke you laugh at, that gossip you entertain, that bitterness you leave unhealed, those aren't just behaviors, those are seeds. And what's sown will actually grow. You cannot plant the sector's seed and expect heaven's fruit. You cannot drink from dirty wells and assume dwelling water to float from your soul. That is why I call you now to cleanse even the hidden places. Let me into the corners of your heart, into the conduct you've unnoticed, into the patterns you've got defended. Permit me expose, not to shame but to heal, for when you permit me to take away the little foxes, the vineyard of your life will bloom once more. Those small things that you've deemed innocent are, in truth, cracks within the dam, leaks in the vessel. You're created to be crammed to overflow, however I cannot pour new oil right into a vessel with gradual, constant leaks. The damage may be sluggish, but it's miles sure unless you allow me to fix, to repair, to refine. Do now not say on your heart, it is only a music. Do now not say it's simply one conversation, or it's just one night time, or absolutely everyone does it. I did not call you to live like all of us. I called you to live as mine, and my youngsters walk in truth, now not pals. They stay with the aid of conviction, no longer convenience. They shield their hearts, for from it flows the springs of lifestyles. My child, you have checked out the fruit of your existence, and puzzled why it has been lacking. But I tell you, the root system matters greater than what's visible above ground. 10 to the root, 10 to the non-public, 10 to the small. This is why I say once more, it is important to pay attention. My phrase every day, no longer as a spiritual ritual, however as a lifeline. You stay in a global filled with noise, the reviews of others, the lies of the enemy, the confusion of lifestyle, and also you surprise why your peace is fragile. You surprise why your confidence wavers, why your imaginative and prescient gets cloudy. However, how are you going to continue to be steady when you are greater nourished with the aid of the sector's phrases than by mine? My word is not just statistics. It's fire bread. It is water. It's fire. It is a sword. It smiles light in darkness, and a lamp on your feet. You cannot stay without it, not certainly. You could characteristic, however you will now not flourish. You may survive, however you'll now not thrive. You may flow, however you may not develop inside the spirit. I do no longer need you to simply exist, my toddler. I need you to walk in strength, in love, and in clarity. I want your mind renewed, your soul revived, your spirit alert. That simplest happens via my word, not heard once every week, not visited in disaster, but welcomed every day. That is, your frame hungers for meals every day, so your soul hungers for my reality. And whilst you do now not feed it, you become susceptible, be susceptible. Easily swayed through the winds of emotion and the currents of deception. However, while my phrase dwells richly in you, you grow to be immovable, unshakable. Like a tree planted by way of streams of water, bearing fruit in every season. Do now not consider the lie that asserts you do not have time. You find time for what you feel. And in case you price peace, if you cost reason, if you value my presence, you will make time to take a seat with me. You do no longer want hours, you want starvation. And in case you come hungry, even a few verses will remodel your atmosphere. Even a whisper from my mouth will shift your complete day. My phrase is alive. It consists of my spirit. It does not return void. When you study it, while you meditate on it, when you let it sink deep into the soil of your heart, it produces a harvest that no devil can thieve. You've got spent too long looking for huge miracles without obeying and small disciplines. You've got prayed for open doors while ignoring my each day invites to come near. However, the doorways you are seeking swing open while your ears are tuned to my whisper. When you awaken every day and say, "Speak, Lord," your servant is listening. You function yourself for alignment, for acceleration, for divine appointment. You forestall striving and begin abiding. And from that vicinity, everything flows. I'm not calling you to perfection. I'm calling you to connection. I need to walk with you once more like I did with Adam inside the cool of the day. I want your mind to align with mine. I need to whisper to you in the midst of your busyness. But I cannot talk over the noise if you'll now not steal your heart. I can no longer compete with distractions. I wait. I knock. I pursue, but I'm able to now not pressure intimacy. You have to select me within the quiet moments. You must construct to existence where my voice isn't always occasional, however important. My baby. Appearance once more on the little matters. They appearance once more at what you tolerate. Appearance again at what you repeat. The phrases you communicate, the content material you eat, the employer you preserve, all of those are shaping you. There may be no neutral ground inside the spirit. You're both drawing closer or drifting. I need you close to. I want to be the only who fills your mind inside the morning and steadies your coronary heart at night. I need to educate you how to see now, not through the lens of culture, however through the lens of eternity. You keep asking me to alternate your lifestyles. And I will. But I do no longer start with the outside. I start with the inner. The miracle you're praying for starts evolved in your behavior. The shift you lengthy for starts evolved to your thoughts. The blessing you preference flows from the posture of your coronary heart. Whilst you fill your lifestyles with my word, you begin to suppose like me. Speak like me. Walk like me. You become salt and mild. You carry my presence into locations darkened by using despair. You convert atmospheres without announcing a word definitely because my reality lives internal you. That is the form of lifestyles I have known as you two. Now not one of roller coaster feelings, no longer one dominated via impulse or strain, however one anchored in me. That anchor is constructed every day. Just as a tree's energy comes from years of deepening roots, so your electricity comes from the each day choice to listen me. Trust me. And obey me even if it is quiet, even if it is small, even when it is unseen. I see how regularly you've brushed off these small moments anticipating something dramatic to take place. However, the private transformation takes place while nobody is looking. When you open my word and read, even though you feel not anything, whilst you turn away from temptation, even though no person could have acknowledged, while you pick out forgiveness, humility, generosity no longer for applause, but for me. Those are the small choices that construct an unshakable existence. Even now, my baby, I'm stirring a brand new awareness inside you. I'm awakening your spirit to the subtlety of my voice. Do now not look for thunder, listen for the whisper. I frequently talk inside the quiet, due to the fact people who definitely hunger will listen intently. I do not disguise myself to frustrate you, I draw you in so that you may discover me. And while you do, you find the whole thing else in its area. The expertise you are seeking is in my phrase. The healing you preference begins in my presence. The energy you need is determined when you feed day by day on my fact. The peace that eludes you rests inside each verse I have spoken. My word isn't just an e-book, it is breath. It is the heartbeat of heaven. And on every occasion you open it with an honest coronary heart, I meet you there. You do now not want to be a pupil. You do now not want to recognize the whole thing immediately. You most effective need to include a heart that asserts, Lord, I need to realize you. And I'm able to honor that. I'm able to remove darkness from what you need. I'm able to screen what is going to convey lifestyles. My spirit and my word agree, they paintings together to form you, guide you, and raise you above the styles of this international. My baby, the sector will always have its voices. However, my voice should become the loudest, not via quantity, but by using weight. Permit my voice outweigh your fears, your doubts, your impulses. Allow my phrase turn out to be the lens via that you see each situation. That is how you continue to be strong in an volatile global. That is the way you conquer temptation. That is how you determine what is absolutely for me. Do not underestimate the small matters. The daily prayers, the quiet worship, the whispered sure to me, they're constructing something everlasting. They may be laying brick upon brick within the unseen, and someday soon, you'll look up and comprehend you're standing inside the very aspect you once only dreamed of. This is how I work regularly, faithfully, deeply, no longer rushed, but specific, not chaotic, however functional. And whilst you build your lifestyles on my phrase, sincerely build, no longer simply visit it whilst convenient. The storms will come, but they will now not spoil you. The winds will blow, however they'll now not pass you, due to the fact you will be anchored, grounded, rooted in truth that cannot be shaken. I have seen each tear, each setback, every sadness, and I'm telling you my word will no longer fail you. My promises are certain. My timing is perfect. My presence is regular. So come. Return. Abide. Draw near each day, even whilst you are tired, even when you are busy, even while you experience not anything specially, then come anyway. For it isn't always about emotion. It is about devotion. And I honor individuals who are trying to find me, even in the silence, especially inside the silence. Do no longer despise the day of small beginnings. What starts evolved as 5 minutes in my presence can turn into a lifestyle of glory.